is this? What the is this? This is garbage.
It's beautiful.
That is a foul.
I'm in the mud right now. First Italy don't qualify, Australia get drawn into the group of death. Now this.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
That deserves a dislike from me, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
A new low. Where and when is the lowest low gonna come? Because the reality of it is, this is really, really bad.
You just knew that was going to happen. No! This is not how this was supposed to go.
You had one job.
Just the one.
I am having a very bad day.
I could see this happening from a mile away. EA, I know you're like the back of my hand. The World Cup Game Mode DLC has just been announced and it's probably about to invade your YouTube sub box. But we need to have a talk about it and expose the mode for the fraud it really is. Get your pitchforks at the ready, people. We're going in. Got a proper mic now, guys. We mean serious business. It doesn't shock me knowing that recently EA's priorities have been licensing a fictional team and their manager in the game, doubling down and adding the Allianz Arena into Madden 23, but not FIFA.
You what?
Make it make sense, man. On to the main topic at hand now, though. Let's divulge into how this new game mode add-on might be a huge addition on the surface, attracting casuals and hardcore players alike. At the end of the day, it's free, right? But once we take a deeper look, compare it to previous installments, the cracks and flaws start to appear. It's a classic EA marketing facade, and by the end of the video, you'll be able to see straight through it with ease.
It's called a deep dive and we're talking about 3 things.
Yeah, us veteran FIFA players, we're out here down bad right now for games like these. The FIFA World Cup content is drier than a desert.
It's an evil world we live in.
I think I just fell in love with a porn star.
Time and time again, without fail, this company have let us down. And yet again, for the world's biggest sporting event, they're gonna drop the ball this hard. I think I speak for everyone when I say the community have had enough. It's gonna go down as the last FIFA game in history as well, and it's nothing short of a disaster class the more you look into it. So you worry, they've got their chance to show their incompetence again with the Women's World Cup add-on arriving in 2023. EA, man, you're moving more toxic than my ex right now, and I'm not having any of it. Will I still be playing it and making content about it, trying to get hyped for the World Cup? Yeah, of course. It's free at the end of the day, and it's also kind of, you know, my job. But also, there are no other major alternatives to turn to. Like, what are you gonna do? A FIFA 22, 23 mod on PC? Not everyone has access to that. There's no other real mainstream choice for console players. EA, FIFA, they own the rights to make a World Cup game, and now this is what we're left with. We gotta deal with the consequences. I mean, have you taken a look at PES recently? That's just turned into a glorified mobile game, so that just eliminates me having any faith in them making a World Cup game anytime soon. This time around, EA have had even more time to prepare for this World Cup launch thanks to QATAR shifting the World Cup to November. It had people thinking that maybe they could spend more time innovating for brand new game modes, add more nations, teams, player face scans, maybe even add new World Cup celebration cutscenes. But no, don't get your hopes up, lads. That's far from the truth.
Is that not even a new celebration either? First of all, there's a guy there that doesn't even have a face scan, number 6. Pretty much like copy and paste from the Russia World Cup final celebration. Like when they all just get onto the stage, lift the trophy. That's the exact same Oh no, the World Cup final celebrations, literally the exact same. They've had 4 years to think of something different.
First of all, this game mode got leaked back months ago. Long story short, it was able to be accessed through a PS5 glitch.
So the leaks were true. The leaks were true, man. Should have believed them. I should have believed them.
So that just pretty much deaded all hype and speculation the community had because the game mode was pretty much available for a couple of hours. People were actually playing online matches versus each other. It was wild. It's a classic EAL to go down in the history books, so I guess the intern that pressed the wrong button, he's never gonna see the light of day again. First impressions here, just look at the main home screen menu. It's extremely similar, if not, it doesn't even compare to what PC modders have done with far less resources. Hell, even in some cases, these mods have better presentation than the final product we got right here. We live in a world, people, where a random modder can put $1 billion company to shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have problems.
Now our first major issue, the stadium situation. They've had 4 years and you're telling me 2 out of the 8 stadiums are available. Of course, the final destination and another random stadium out of a possible 8.
2 stadiums. 2. Well, you kind of expect all this when you have all the licenses. You've had 4 years to do this. It's been announced it's been in Qatar for more than 10 years. This is kind of a given, the World Cup matchday experience, trying to replicate it. But then the stadiums, 2 stadiums, that's poor, man.
Is this how you're going to repay Qatar after they spent $200 million to build these brand new state-of-the-art air-conditioned stadiums on time, killing migrant workers in the process? You haven't even bothered to do them justice in-game and represent the tournament as a whole, whilst we do my new favourite thing and compare them to previous FIFA World Cup titles. Even 2018 had every licensed stadium in Russia, and you can't bring up the argument saying, well, they're all new stadiums, it was going to be hard for them to capture anyway, because that was the same scenario in Russia, and they still managed to get the job done there. So what's the difference this time? And I don't even have to remind you guys at this point that the World Cup standalone games had every single stadium in the game, something that was possible from 2006 all the way up to 2014. Not even the employees are bothered to go to Qatar and sweat through the heat in order to capture these stadiums. So how do FIFA expect players and fans to go there in their millions for a World Cup? It's a major letdown, disappointing news to hear, as the stadiums themselves look incredibly unique, like nothing you've ever seen before. So I'll give the Qatari architecture team some props. It just seems like a waste now, because after the World Cup, we won't be able to use them and maintain their legacy in game. Another issue that people are up in arms about is that there is no separate Ultimate Team World Cup mode this time. It turns out EA have gone one worse than 2018. I didn't even think that could be possible.
No Ultimate Team Edition either. You can't write this stuff. They're just doing it. They're shooting themselves in the foot at this point. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
Because at least that free DLC had its own mini Ultimate Team version, and so did FIFA 14's next gen add-on. Now the reason behind this is probably more facetious than you once thought. We uncover their motivations for not adding a separate foot mode, because if they actually did, it would ruin the transfer market for the main Ultimate Team. Considering now we're barely even halfway through this new FIFA 23 cycle, adding a new separate mode halfway through the season instead of at the end when Ultimate Team's already dead like it was in 2014, yet another thing we can blame Qatar for, because they wanted a World Cup in winter. I don't know, let me know down in the comments below, but that's my main theory. Not gonna lie, I've voiced my displeasures over Ultimate Team on the channel over the years.
No. Oh, no. Oh my. You had to just put the final nail in the coffin like that?
But I'm gonna admit that that World Cup Russia edition was actually the last time I sank abhorrent hours into foot, grinding for the best cards, icon SBCs, and collecting as many players as possible along the way, either through free packs or games, because there was no transfer market. Honestly, it felt like Panini card sticker collection just digitally, and it had me hook, line, and sinker. Oh, they had me good. Don't come for me, guys. I was young, free, and 18 in the World Cup mood, and it kept me entertained at 2 AM whilst I waited for the next game to come on. I definitely regret spending hundreds on FIFA points, but it was a special time in my life. I look back on it fondly, so I guess it was worth it in the end. You never really know what you've got till it's gone is hitting pretty hard right now, as I didn't expect to be mourning the loss of Ultimate Team, but here we are. Thanks to this year's World Cup time slot and the growth of Ultimate Team over the years, it just showcases the extra effort they've poured into the Ultimate Team World Cup content, with a full season of daily new drops, content for kids to splash their parents' credit cards on.
Oh, no one cares about the special content in Ultimate Team, man. I just wanted a standalone Ultimate Team.
Whilst turning a blind eye to the OG offline game modes that had everyone obsessed from the OG standalone World Cup games, you might see viral tweets and posts of people gushing about these old games and how elite they were. They were revolutionary for their time, so you might be wondering, what do these older titles have that this brand new FIFA 23 World Cup mode doesn't? Well, take a seat, my friend, that's what I'm here for. Even the features that this game mode does have, the guys in the trailer are claiming them as new. They're literally flexing that these modes are making a comeback when they were just generally accepted in the older games.
Wait, did he say new? Oh, new? Oh, new? Don't call this new. Don't call this new. This is literally in the standalone games. I'm not going to take that as a new feature. I'm sorry. You can't fool me. You can't fool a veteran, mate.
Like my brother in Christ, we've been there, done that. We had a fully fledged scenario mode back in the day, and now that they've made it online, you can play people in these scenario games. That's pretty much the only addition here. They were in previous titles on older consoles and done better. Look at the character in this screen and the menus for scenario mode, the current day, and then look at 2010 and 2014. 2014. The difference is night and day. The older games were just levels above. My guy, are you going to introduce any new features or just promote Ultimate Team for the next 4 minutes? I'll give them credit for a split second, as there will be live content updating alongside the tournament as you follow your team. This is a feature brought back from the 2014 standalone game, and for some reason it was just nowhere to be seen in 2018. So they've given it a second chance here in 2022, but the praise stops there, unfortunately. This time around, EA have fully licensed every single team in the tournament, which is a given, and 15 other nations that didn't qualify.
Yay, I can put Italy in the World Cup. Woo!
And they've just called it a day and thought that was good enough. Yeah, that's where, in comparison to the absolute GigaChad versions of 2010 and 2014, those are rookie numbers in this bracket, bro. Even 2006 had more nations, and that was 18 years ago, back on the Xbox 360 and PS2. We were blessed with over 200 nations. Every single team that participated in the qualifying process was in that game, and we just never got that same privilege again. To all those people that wanted to qualify San Marino for the World Cup, your dream is dead. I hate to break it to you, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but from 200 nations to less than 50, that's a pretty hefty downgrade if you ask me, and anyone that played those old games. It's just typical with EA. You take one step forward, and then you take 500 back.
And you can't sleep while I'm seeing demons whenever I close my eyes.
I just want to take a look with you guys and see the two other major game modes that EA haven't continued on for now 2 World Cup editions.
I don't love this game.
These were highly requested. People want to see these return. First up, we got No Captain Your Country. I didn't really expect it, knowing that it was just going to be a free add-on DLC. However, this was a top tier offline game mode where you could take a real life player or create your own, rise through the ranks with your nations, train and experience the qualification process with your pro, all the way to be selected to the national team setup, and even capturing the captain's armband in the process. It was an immersive journey-esque experience minus the social media feature and the cutscenes. That has been sorely missed, and nostalgia aside, this game mode still holds up to this day. 2014 Brazil was its final form, and it aged like a fine wine. And there is a huge market for this game mode to come back, or at least have a revised My Player edition for the World Cup, now that that game mode was slightly revamped for FIFA 23. But no, we're left out here starving, forced to go back to the older games for a better experience. Next up, we've got No Road to the World Cup. This feature sometimes even warranted its own game mode on 2 separate occasions in 2002 and 2006, and now EA don't even bother mentioning it here in 2022. It was pretty self-explanatory and featured on both 2010 and 2014 World Cup games, allowing you to have your pick of over 200 nations, experience the whole qualification process with them, play or sim the World Cup qualifiers, and with the ultimate goal of taking them to the World Cup finals. It allowed players to grind against small nations that have never qualified a spot on the world stage, or for them to train and perfect their ideal 26-man squad before the tournament kicked off. It was an in-depth, detailed mode that was perfect for Road to Glories, and just in general to get you hyped for the tournament in real life. And without this feature, this free update just feels empty and a shell of its former self, or whatever it's trying to emulate. EA, I'm not gonna lie, just like me with women, you fumbled the bag here.
Lord have mercy.
With QATAR 2022's add-on, it's pretty much confirmed that there's no training/skill games whatsoever. I know it's a pretty minor feature that was added back in 2014, but the World Cup practice arena with its full features and mini games available, including the beautiful dynamic environments you saw, skill games and challenges were just fun to keep you mindlessly entertained and made you actually feel like you were there in the home nation, and it gave you an inside look into the cultures of both South America and South Africa. It set the scene nicely and immersed you into the world with your favorite team and players. Now, just like the previous features mentioned, they're not here in goddamn 2022. How did we get to this point, man? I feel like we're going backwards every single year. If you're a FIFA soundtrack aficionado like yours truly right here, you'll be disappointed that there is no dedicated soundtrack for this World Cup mode. Granted, there was none in 2018's add-on with just Jason Derulo's colours playing on loop in the background. It's just another small addition that sets these games apart and shows EA's attention to detail, as the original soundtracks curated for the World Cup often included the Coca-Cola anthem and the actual FIFA anthem for the tournament. It would have been the perfect platform to showcase the great musical talents of the Middle East off in game, and it expose a world audience to their sounds just like EA successfully did back in 2014, 2010, even 2006. Through those iconic South American tunes and African anthems that are still stuck in your head to this day. Who knows now what artists we could have discovered, songs we could have fallen in love with if a proper soundtrack was assembled for this mode. Quick little update here, it's actually just been announced that EA are making the ultimate FIFA soundtrack for the World Cup game mode, and it's actually got me hyped. Full of community voted FIFA songs from years gone by. I'm gonna have to admit, this is a rare EA W. You guys have dug yourselves out of a hole here. Yeah, they got me at the FIFA soundtrack. They've struck a chord with me, and now I just can't wait to see what FIFA classics are gonna end up on this game mode. But if this means we're gonna hear the likes of Avicii the Knights, John Newman, Love Me Again, Quab's Walk, EA, I'll give you a free license. Just hook it into my veins. But still, I won't take it back. It would have been cool to see your dedicated soundtrack. In conclusion, EA Sports, if this was a school assignment project, you'd be lucky to come away with a D+, maybe even a C-. Yeah, see how it feels now when people start grading you? You've been gifted the pleasure and the honor to represent the World Cup virtually, and you continue to deliver subpar features and drop free DLCs that pale in comparison to your previous works. These games have the potential to go down in history, make the streets never forget them if shown the right love and attention, but for 2 tournaments in a row now, it has been rushed and tossed to the side for a quick buck just to impress the shareholders that don't see the value in a full standalone game. They want to cut costs, minimize expenses. I get it, it's a business. You gotta make profits at the end of the day, but if it's coming at the expense of the customer base and the audience of the game, if it's harming the overall experience of the goddamn World Cup, surely you gotta take a look in the mirror at yourselves and realize, is it really all worth it? In the past, with the retro games, they were doing it for the culture. However, now, they're just doing it to print money. As a billion-dollar corporation backed by FIFA themselves, with access to all the technology, assets, and licenses any company could ever dream of, you guys can genuinely make an amazing product. I'm not doubting you guys. You've done it before. The proof is in the pudding with those older World Cup standalone games. I don't care. Charge me $60 for a World Cup game every 4 years. I'll pay it. If it's a fully fledged, finished product with all the passion and attention to detail of previous years, incorporated with all the new gen technology that we have at our disposal nowadays, I'll take that any day of the week over a half-assed free DLC update that we get stuck with now. You never know. Maybe once the new game mode drops, we'll all start gaining an affinity towards it once the tournament starts and truly indulge, lock in for World Cup season. But I can envision this add-on getting swept under the rug just like 2018's version was, and was pretty much completely forgotten about in less than a year. But guys, if you've made it this far, are you excited for the World Cup game mode? What features do you want to see added, if not brought back into the game? Am I just overreacting? Because I don't know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys share the same sentiments as me. Let's just cross our fingers and hope for something better come 2026. As always, if you guys went on to like the video and this new green screen video essay content, drop the video a like down below, subscribe and turn on the bell for more FIFA World Cup retro content. Make sure to follow me on all my socials, the links will be down in the description below. As always, I've been BCHD, have a great day and I'll catch you all in the very next video. It's time for QATAR. Yeah, it doesn't really have the same ring to it, not gonna lie.
I've been trying, but to work do the same. Every day this shit feel the same. I've been trying to work through this pain. Every day it won't go away. I've been trying, so tell me who do